So over the past couple of weeks, Blizzard can't seem to get out of their own way. They keep messing up, it seems, and they keep getting a ton of backlash over basically everything they're doing when it comes to the issue with Blitzchung and, of course, China and Hong Kong and all of this stuff. It really is. It's quite a bit of stuff to go over, and there have been several videos made. I did a video on it also on the second channel, which you want to check out down below. I'll put a link to the second channel down below, but now things are getting interesting leading up to BlizzCon. BlizzCon is in a couple weeks, start November 1st. And remember, last year it didn't go over well because they showed everyone a cell phone game, Diablo Immortal, of course, in front of everyone who definitely wasn't there to see a cell phone game. And it seemed like, okay, maybe next year we'll have Diablo 4, and that will probably go over much, much better, provided it's not a cell phone game. But if you remember last year, they partnered with, I believe, NetEase and everything to build it. NetEase, of course, out of China. And again, we keep seeing a lot of scrutiny around Blizzard, their statements and their relationships with China at this point, and maybe why they're being so tough on people who are speaking out against China with Hong Kong. But now we're to the point where it appears that Blizzard is canceling events, at least that's according to Nintendo, because yes, Blizzard has now canceled an event, an Overwatch event that was going to take place at Nintendo New York. This appeared to have been a launch event, and it looked like there was actually going to be quite a bit of fanfare there. It looked like they were expecting quite a crowd, and that might play a part as to why this all happened. But let's just quickly go over the event here. It's a longer Twitter thread, but it'll give us an idea as to what was canceled exactly. It started October 8th. Gather your team and head to Nintendo New York Wednesday at 10:16, so October 16th, 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. without reservation, then 5:30 to 7 with reservation required for Blizzard's launch event celebrating Overwatch Legendary Edition, which of course released on the Nintendo Switch today, the 15th. And what's interesting about this is the first 150 fans to sign up will get to meet the voice actors from Overwatch. So they're going to have them there, and I guess you can go through and they'll probably sign stuff if you want. So I guess you pick up a copy of the game, or maybe they have posters they'll give out or something, and then you get them to sign it. Seemed like a pretty cool opportunity for fans of the series to go and meet the voice actors. Now, I know that people, of course, are not happy with Blizzard right now, obviously, so there may have been people who just don't pick up Overwatch on the Switch because they don't want to support Blizzard, and I think that's fair. People have a right to do that, obviously, and yeah, you're going to see people just skip Overwatch on the Switch completely. I think it's more a shame for the developers that spent quite a bit of time on this, right? And of course, a lot of people were asking for Overwatch to come to the Switch, so you're going to see Blizzard, who should recognize the massive issue here, and not necessarily just that people don't want to buy Overwatch on the Switch, more or less that they push people not to buy it on the Switch. Then, on the 14th, so yesterday, they seem to have canceled last minute, but they do give us a reason why that is. They say, please be aware that the previously announced Overwatch launch event scheduled for Wednesday, October 16th at Nintendo New York has been canceled by Blizzard. We apologize for any inconveniences, make calls. And what's interesting about this situation is I saw some people who responded to tweets and everything talking about how they were actually going to fly there for this event because the voice actors are going to be there, and they wanted to meet, I guess, the people behind the character, the voices they keep hearing while they've been playing Overwatch for so long. And that actually would have been a pretty cool event to happen. Let's say none of this stuff happened with Blizzard. That would have been a pretty fun event, I guess, for fans of Overwatch. I'm not as into Overwatch really, but I can understand being able to meet a voice actor whose voice you've heard over and over and over again in your headset or your headphones or on your speakers. That would be pretty cool, and of course, signatures and all of that. But now it looks like Blizzard has canceled that. They're not going to cancel BlizzCon. That's something that I've seen people bring up. Are they just going to get rid of BlizzCon? They can't. BlizzCon is way too big at this point. I think last year it was quoted 40 to 50,000 people or so, I believe, attended, maybe more. So they're not going to cancel it. This was, a couple hundred people were going to be showing up. They're not going to cancel something with tens of thousands of people. And of course, BlizzCon means a lot, I would say, at this point to Blizzard, and they probably have quite a bit of stuff set up to show off there. And like we said, probably Diablo 4. but they're probably gonna have to make some changes. The fact that they went out of their way to cancel a smaller event like this means a couple of things. One, the voice actors were gonna be there, so maybe they were concerned for safety. Maybe they were concerned that there would be some pushback, possibly protesting there. And to be honest, if I was Nintendo, I may have even brought that up, said, hey, we're not involved in any of this. You guys are the one with the terrible PR right now. We don't want people coming to Nintendo New York, with signs and all this stuff. We don't want all that. We're not the one messing up like that. Yeah, so I can understand that from Nintendo's standpoint, because they're staying out of it at this point. But Blizzard keeps messing up. Their statement, of course, didn't really help a lot. They did restore the prize money, but they still have a 6-month ban, even on the casters, which is still weird to me and a lot of people. So I more so see this from even Nintendo. Like if Nintendo said, hey, yeah, we're not going to be doing this because we have employees that, why would we put them through that when they're not the ones messing this up? So I guess maybe Blizzard looked at that and said, hey, we're going to cancel this just because it could happen. It's more a shame for the fans who, were excited for this. And it's a shame for maybe the employees who were excited for it as well. I mean, that could be really fun to have that event there. And it just comes back to Blizzard unable to manage their own PR. And again, just keeps messing up. I almost wonder if this had they never said anything, never did anything about what happened on stream, if it really would have hurt them that bad with China or any relationships, because I feel like most people wouldn't have even cared as much necessarily. It definitely wouldn't have gotten as big as it is, right? That's the biggest thing. People might have, seen it on stream and said, all right, cool, I support that. But I don't think it would have got to the point that it is now. And considering we just see event after event, like so many things keep happening in succession at this point, it's not going to go away anytime soon. And I almost feel like everything is building up to BlizzCon, and I hope nothing bad happens there, but it feels like it's all building up to this big boiling point right now where it's just gonna just really boil over. What's really interesting to me though is it seems that there is now, because of this event kind of crossing over into Nintendo territory, even on like the subreddit, there seems to be some confusion and some arguing and some strife around this whole thing, because people are bringing this situation up on like the subreddit, for example, and all the threads are getting locked, and some of them are being removed, but for the most part they're being locked, and people are confused exactly as to why that is. And it seems that for the most part these threads keep getting derailed, but they are at least locking them and leaving them up. And it does show that at this point how big of an effect this whole Blizzard thing has to do with everything in games. Like it's getting into everything now. Who would have thought that Blizzard would mess up this bad about something with China, and now it's basically infecting Nintendo subreddits and Nintendo conversations now, because an entire event at Nintendo New York was canceled by Blizzard. So BlizzCon, November 1st, they're not going to cancel it. We've heard that there will be tons of people protesting and everything. And it's going to all kind of come to a head, I guess, there. But yeah, Nintendo canceling an event. Well, Blizzard canceling Nintendo event. Although I think there may have been some talking there, like I said. They say Blizzard, they were pretty straight up. Blizzard canceled it, which tells me that they just weren't going to have their voice actors go there, most likely. And the whole premise of this thing seemed to be around the voice actors attending. So you take the voice actors away. I'm sure you can still go there and obviously buy it. That's fine, but they're just not going to have this big event, which is, again, a shame. But let me know what you guys think about the situation with Nintendo and Blizzard, and what do you think is going to happen with BlizzCon? Because I feel like we're going to get there to BlizzCon. There is going to be this like a big thing that happens outside with protesting and everything, but then after that, do we kind of go back to just BlizzCon and them showing us Diablo 4, for example? And the biggest question is, will they have an open floor Q&A at BlizzCon with all of this stuff that is going on? Because they're out here canceling small events. Do you think they're going to let people have a microphone in the crowd, potentially to ask questions about their China relationship and why did you do this or that, because the person on stage is just developing the game. They're not necessarily the suits making the decisions at the top, right? I mean, yeah, they ask weird things like, don't you all have phones? We'll see about that one. Also, let me know if you're going to BlizzCon, because I think people had already bought tickets and they were kind of locked in at this point. So let me know if you're going and if you have plans for all of that, whether it's, I guess, to be outside as part of the protesting, you're trying to avoid everything and kind of navigate your way through all of that. But yeah, also let me know if you're going to this Overwatch event, because it looks like it got kind of out of control and they just said we don't want any of that, I guess, any voice actors to possibly be in harm's way for that. Interesting stuff. Thanks guys for watching. Make sure you like the video on the way out if you liked it, dislike it if not, and get subscribed for all gaming news going forward and tech teardowns. And I'll see you guys next time.